Hey everyone, I'm here actually at a real estate conference in Miami, sunny Miami, Florida. It's about 85 degrees out here actually. Myself and Andrew are a little warm, but I really wanted to spend a few minutes with Andrew to the folks that are subscribers and watching our YouTube channel. Andrew Sirius is with Stewardship Properties. He's a real estate investor. And him and his brother and his father have built up a business basically that manages and owns over 800 properties and units. So really impressive, really nice person, fellow Bigger Pockets blogger. And I just want to spend a few moments asking him a few questions because I really feel like him and his brother and his father have built such a successful business that hopefully you folks can learn something from as you guys grow your own real estate business. So. Did I do a good job introducing you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So you joined, Andrew's father built about 27 years ago, started the business. Andrew joined about 10 years ago, and his brother joined about 5 years ago. So over the last several years, though, like, what would you say, the last few years you started with, what, X properties, and how have you grown? And they're based in Kansas City as well, so I forgot to tell you that.
My dad started in Eugene, Oregon. And that's where I started after I graduated college. We basically started flipping houses there. That kind of we burnt out on that. The market changed. We ended up coming out to the Midwest where we could get back into buying whole cash flow properties. And he had about 300 units in Eugene. And since then we've grown to have about 800 units, mostly in Kansas City as our main area of growth. Buying middle class, working class houses, apartment units, and just trying to scale that as much as possible. Mostly off-site, not a lot of apartments, but it's smaller apartments, but not the larger ones. They're not going for 100-unit apartment complexes. We're going for lots and lots of houses.
Okay. So how do you scale a business like that? I mean, it's not just the three of you. You have, they think, close to about 30 employees. I mean, big team. But how do you go from 300 to then 800? And what were key things that you guys had to do to scale?
Well,
and do it successfully.
I think one thing with business in general is a lot of people see it as getting to this point, whereas it's really more of a progression.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of feels like you're just spinning your wheels, moving, and not really making any progress. And all of a sudden, just it hits.
Yeah.
A lot of it is moving in a consistent pace and not hunkering down when things get tough, not going at just crazy all over the place when things seem better than they might be, or when you get overconfident, and just having a consistent growth plan, and then sooner or later it just starts to really pick up, and a lot of the contacts you've made, the networking you've done, deals start coming back to you, lenders start loaning more and more, and people that you gained a connection with maybe a year ago, all of a sudden now they have a property sale, now they want to lend to you, something along those lines. So it's really a matter of kind of like hitting that point and just growing at a consistent rate, and then all of a sudden it will start to kind of grow exponentially.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's simple, putting one foot in front of the other instead of just jumping from point A to point C, going from A to B to C to D. And I guess the two other points I'd make is the first is you can't scale without systems. They're just everything you do, you should try to think, and it's harder to do it by building a system around it as you do it. It's either just, entrepreneurs, we want to just shoot from the hip.
Right.
But if you're going to do something, it's best to build a system that makes it easier the second time, even easier the third time. You're going to have to adjust it and change it and all these other things. But you can't scale, and you also can't have employees working for you if you don't have a system. Otherwise, they're just going out and doing their own thing, which is the next thing is hiring, and that is. That's another challenge in itself, but it does come down to hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
And as hard as that is to do, it's critical.
Great. So I'm going to ask Andrew a few other questions, or one other quick question before we end. There's so many questions I actually want to ask you, but I want to make this video only 5 minutes long so you folks get value and you can move on with your day. Acquisitions. I mean, you guys are probably buying properties. You're not buying one or two properties. I'm sure you're buying in bulk. But even at one or two, or even at 50 or 100 or whatever your buying strategy is, how do you find deals? Do you find them on the MLS, auction.com, or there's so many various ways to find deals, right? Off market, any suggestions for folks?
Yeah, I mean, back a couple of years ago, just after the crisis, it was pretty simple. I mean, there were just so many REOs
Right.
on the market. You just go on the MLS, we could go out and look at 15 different properties, make offers on 12 and get one or 2. And we just do that over and over and over and over again. It's gotten harder. There's still some deals there, particularly like in Midwest town or cities or the South or whatnot. You're not going to find it on the coast. But now more direct-to-market sellers or more portfolio buyers, particularly like older people who are liquidating their assets. Maybe do want a 1031 into one property that they don't have to worry about,
Right.
or institutions that are looking to sell properties that you can buy in bulk. We've done some bulk purchasing recently as well, which is one of those things we could not have done that earlier. We didn't have the infrastructure in place. So that's
Okay.
one of the points, is that you're not trying to get from the very beginning to think like becoming, real estate's a giver's slow scheme.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things, just build it slowly, soon you have that infrastructure, and a lot of opportunities that weren't there before all of a sudden become available.
That's a really good point. We suggest that a lot. People will ask us, well, how do I just buy a 100-unit apartment building tomorrow? And they don't know anything. So doing it slowly. So thank you for taking some time with us. I hope you guys got something of
My
value.
pleasure.
And enjoy your day.